Ladies and gentlemen, this is my top 7 horror movies. Last week it was Joey's, and I got criticism, well, not criticism, advice on last week's episode, and the noise in his microphone was a bit off, and we switched microphones, so now I have my old regular microphone back, and he has my apparent new. Shaun of the Dead. I'm gonna start out with Shaun of the Dead. But what can be said about this that hasn't been said about this? And I'm gonna go on and on with this line, like what hasn't been said. And and let's start out with this one, Shaun of the Dead. See, I'm not really into horror movies like him. I'm not into scary movies. No, 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 no. I hate getting scared. And if someone were to scare me in real life, 8 times out of 10, I will punch them, whether it's in the face, in the shoulder, or right in the middle of the chest. The solar plex, solar pad. You know what I'm talking about. But I can't get scared, man. I hate getting scared. And you know, Shaun of the Dead does scare you, but it's obviously trying to be something else. It's trying to be comedic, right? And it's an obvious parody of Dawn of the Dead. But it was made into a comedy, which I love. I love comedy, and if it can make me laugh, I'm 100% down for that movie. And it was just comedy and combined with horror, and it has to be on my list. I mean, there's Scary Movie 1 and 2, and I guess 3? I don't really remember the third one. Watching Shaun of the Dead and then working at a restaurant, not similar to his, but well, his line of job in that movie, but I've always imagined on boring days at work if there were to be a zombie apocalypse outside and me not knowing until it happens and how it would actually play out. Who would actually, pass away first and who would survive and who would be with me or if I were to survive and who would, I would eat or something. I don't know. It just happens. It just happens. I'm not saying I'm a cannabis. No, 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 I'm not. No, 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 no. I'm just saying, like these movies, these zombie movies, like Zombieland, for instance, they have tips. They have tips on surviving. They have tips on ideas on like how to kill them or how to survive, maintain yourself, get you know create tools and such. Um, but it has comedy elements, and I like that. I just like that, and I'm sorry that people don't might not be convinced about this, but that's my number one for this one. But I'm not. It's not really my number one. I'm just picking it. I guess this would be my number seven to be. Yeah, number seven. Number seven. I'm gonna go with number seven. All right. So my number six for this one, and I think if you are not old enough to watch old movies like me, and you don't know if you have not seen the first one, where it started it all, then I think you need to go and see it. And I'm talking about, I'm talking, I'm talking about a movie that I know a lot of you have seen it, if you're older or as old as I am. But I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to give you a hint of this movie, and it's one actress, Sigourney Weaver. Goddamn right it is. It's Aliens. Yes, Aliens is here in my top 7. And I want to mention one game that always scared me to death, and it's Dead Space. I fucking hate those guys. I fucking hate those guys. I can't stand those fucking goddamn aliens creeping up on you. And it reminded me of this movie. Like it really did. Like so many scary parts to it. Especially when they open their goddamn mouth and has another mouth coming out to bro, bro. And then that scene in the cafeteria where everything is just going smoothly and everything. Next thing you know, and you're just like, what the hell? And it crawls away. It's it's so goddamn weird. And it was like, what the hell is going on? I mean, you see Prometheus now, and it's like better effects, but that movie had its flaws. You know, I mean, why would you run literally in the direction where the thing is falling? I don't know what it was called. Like one of the tower things, it was falling. Why would you run? I don't know. I hate movies like that. Like, why would you make a character really smart but then really dumb in some areas? Like, what? Just go to the side. Just move the other way, and it won't get you. You don't have to move to the direction where it's falling. If you know, you know. But did you guys know? Actually, while trying to like remember this movie a little bit, did you guys know that one of the eggs that they took from the movie is in the Smithsonian Institute in Washington D.C.? I didn't know that. I did not know that. It's so weird. Listen, this movie was ahead of its time, and uh, it should be an exclusive to watch to many, 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 many people if they like horror. You know, I guess my generation thinks of like the 80s, the retro thing, but and they're bringing things back from it, like the Walkman and stuff. They're trying to make it hip and cool, even like the disco CDs and the recorder like the laser disc a little bit. Like they should bring back movies like that. Like why don't they do that? Why don't they have an exclusive night? I would do that. Hell, if I mean, I'm gonna stream, right? I might as well just do that, 80s, 90s classic movies and talk about them. I'm willing to do that. Joey's willing to do that. Let me know if you actually want to do that. That's actually a really cool thing that I want to do. I want to bring back the 80s and 90s a little bit, 70s, maybe 60s. Ooh, spoilers for 60s. I mean, again, that scene with the cafeteria. I did not know who that actor was until I read the cast for this again and rewatching that scene. But I did not know it was John Hurts that played that character and then died in the cafeteria. What? Son? Well, I did not know that. I did not know that. That was crazy. Rest in peace. But imagine that were to happen in a restaurant right now. Because listen, everyone does not know that there's aliens out there, and like the Pentagon kind of basically said, here's images, here's pictures and stuff, and they're out there, they've been there. We've taken videos about them in the air. Hasn't done anything. They haven't done anything. But what if that were to happen in a restaurant? And especially now after COVID-19, who knows? Maybe we have aliens inside of us. I don't know. And imagine that happening. I mean, Jesus Christ. And also, this is just the first out of many. This is the first movie out of many movies. It has a whole franchise behind it. And it started with a character, Ellen Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver. Enough said about that movie. From Jim Halpert to Tom McClancy's Jack Ryan to Quiet Place. Oh yeah, listen. I watched this movie in theaters with my girlfriend. And the first scene, I had my jaw drop. And I was scared at the same time. Dude, I grabbed my girlfriend and said, "What the fuck?" Bro, I did not know that that was gonna happen. When you see a movie like that, you think an adult's gonna die. Bro, that's so goddamn sad. I mean, you're just like, you could see the pain in their eyes. The next scene after that, you could see it. You could just see it. That scene made me rethink about having kids, especially because kids are so curious about everything. And then living in that kind of world where there might be something that can kill you. Dude, no, I knew my anxiety had me going through the roof. I mean, dude, for the first 30 something minutes, that movie did not say a word. I think it was 38. Wait, hold up. I'm looking through my 38 minutes. The first 38 minutes, there was not a line. There was not a line. It was just, sign language. And you're thinking of a scary movie. First thing you hear is like a phone call ring or something, or So here's the thing: I like solving and knowing how to kill an alien or some sort, or like whoever the hell the killer is, like Jason, Freddy, whatever. But like I'm I'm like focusing on that for the first couple seconds, and it's already, it's in the title, Quiet Place. So you gotta be quiet because they kind of come, and then you see the first scene, and the goddamn kid, Jesus Christ, and I'm like, okay, so it seems like either they can hear really, really, really good, or they feel something. But then I'm like, if their hearing is that good, why don't you just fucking do something with the frequencies? And spoiler alert, they do that at the end, but still. And I'm just like, okay, so that's how you defeat the guy, but how did nobody ever mention that? Like, we're seeing newspapers of like the government, trying to survive and taking people to the base, and you know, emergency broadcast and all that. And it was like, how did the government not know how to do this? I guess there's a sequel to this. I mean, there is a sequel to this movie. But I figured it out that that's the route it was gonna go to. Again, I watched too many shows and movies to already know how to defeat a villain. Listen, I don't even know. I don't even know how they survived. But when Emily's Blunt's character stepped through that oh my god, bro, I felt that. I felt that in my heart. I felt that in my pain. I felt that in my foot. Jesus Christ. But again, I swear to God, it'd be your own goddamn kids, bro. It'd be your own goddamn kids that get you almost killed or killed. Jesus goddamn Christ. I mean, huh. It took it took the first 38 minutes to somebody to talk, and that does not make me feel comfortable. So I was like, I was holding something tight. I was holding my girl's hand tight because I don't like scary movies, but I also wanted to see this because, come on, man, this is John Krasinski, and Emily Blunt together. I mean, as a dual couple right there. Jeez, talk about a dual couple. That's a good dual couple right there. That's a goddamn cool dual couple. But setting up the whole movie with the locations, characters, and their roles, any character development, and you say to yourself, sometimes stories mention every single little detail. I'm talking about like books and stuff, but and you see that in movies too, though. Like the director shows you a specific spot in a setting, like a character talking, and you could see where it's like kind of like he's lying, they're lying, or they're being sarcastic, and and the camera goes to like something they're holding or something in the back, as pointing out that they're nervous because their hand is shaking or they're fidgeting. But this movie kind of let their actions speak to you. whether it was sign language or their mouths shaking because they were terrified of what was gonna go on, and I just loved it. That's another way of showing you guys that you don't need the scary music. You know what I mean? Like there's music behind every killer, every villain in movies, and this one it was more silent. It was just giving you the aspect of the character. It was their actions speaking and letting you know what they were going to go through, and I loved it. That's what I admired from this movie, especially the goddamn climax of this movie. Oh my god. I don't even want to say it, but Jesus Christ, I teared up. I teared up. Just the goddamn sacrifice. It was done so goddamn well. It really was. Oh, I rewatched this movie in the movie theaters twice. Jordan Peele, a goddamn comic, made this movie. The creative, haunting, symbolic, fresh, original, multi layered movie. And it was done so goddamn good. And let's talk about the hypocritical and the new take in slavery mentality. You add in the fake liberal, you have a little bit of like, the southern ideals and the mindset to these characters. I mean, this movie was basically the reverse of what a interracial couple can happen, can do, can be. And you think about it, and I just can't imagine this happening now. But then again, it's like this movie was made to be it's not based on a true story, but if you think of it of a horror movie and can be realistic, you can think of I can I can only point out to one right now. Maybe Freddy can happen. Maybe Freddy, but that's too like spiritual. I don't know. It's not sci-fi. It's just a little too spiritual, I guess, for me. I don't know. But when you think of like a movie that can maybe just maybe just imagine it, I think this one could be it. It's Get Out. I I don't know. I mean, the phrase imagine comes to mind that this can ever be true, but not really, right? The movie wanted to make the audience feel what a black man goes through while having to meet his girlfriend that is the opposite race, a different race, I mean, uh, and living in a white rural area, and the subtle comments, the irony, the overexpressed line of voting for a goddamn Obama, uh, and made it feel like they aren't racist, but then it's like, I feel like something's happening here. I mean, the the line that Jordan Peele kind of used in this movie to create this movie was from Eddie Murphy when he said in his delirious stand up about haunted houses, and the guy just goes and the guy enters and he already sees something moving and he's like, "Oh hell no, we got to get out of here." So that was basically it. Basically it. It was just like you gotta get out. You already feel it. You feel in your guts. You gotta get out, and it's the message that gets across of what I love about this movie. I mean, you think of the most cynical way that humans can use slavery and then change it into Jim Crow. Go to moves it to mass incarceration, and then hey, let's use a different element of this and say we're gonna hypnotize people to be our slaves in a sense that you know yeah, they wanted to be. our slaves. They wanted to be with us. They will always want to be with us. And to mentally fuck you and say maybe this can be realistic, is like, bruh, you're just like you need to survive, bro. You need to survive. Get the hell out of there because holy shit, while you're there, it mentally fucks you. I was mentally fucked, and I'm mentally getting fucked right now thinking about this movie. Everything, like this whole sequence of him in that chair using the con in the chair that he's in to not listen to what they're saying, not being hypnotized, s- getting out of there. Oh my god, like what? And then there's that one scene, that bingo scene where the father just goes 10-10 with his hands. And when he did that, I was like, oh, hell nah. Nah, nope, that's it. That's it. I know what this is. Nope. Nope. Trust your guts, my guys. Never, ever let them catch you slipping. You hear me? Never. Never. Again, I'm gonna use the line, like I said, but what hasn't been said about this movie? As I said, I mentioned 1960s. You're goddamn right, I'm talking about Psycho. I mean, this movie was everything to a lot of people. It inspired so many directors. It inspired different directors from different genres that they're, creating. Alfred Hitchcock used everything in his playbook to make this movie. Attention to detail was everything. It was a must, both to him, his work, and the audience that you have to pay attention to. Now I thought that before watching this movie, that this movie was a bit overrated, and a lot of people talked about it. But of course, I was wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong, because this movie dawned a lot of movies that we see now, a lot of the horror movies that we see now. I mean, there's birds and stuff, but no, this movie literally just used a different turn, especially what ideas other directors have taken this from this, such as camera shots, clothing, mirrors that reflect the characters, clocks for timing and events that can occur in that exact time that they see it or we see it, mental health, and of course giving us a screechy noise right before Marion dies in the shower. That's my horrible attempt. But I wanted to take film class because I first off, it always seemed fun. I'm always curious about how a movie is made. I wanted to learn more about the camera work because who knows? Maybe I'll be a vlogger. Maybe I'll try to make something a skit in real life in live action. I don't know yet, but I wanted to learn more about this, right? And learning about the little stuff that a moviegoer overlooks and makes the movie itself worth it. Um, and then going after learning about film class and learning the aspects of it, I think watching a movie is more fun now because you question certain scenes, you question why they shot it this way and not that way, or you even see the director's message and theme beforehand that anyone sees. Now, yes, you can be very over dramatically, and not over dramatically. How do you say it? You could be really, really analytical, right? And you can hyper observant is the word I'm trying to go for. Yes, that like psych. What's his name? Sean Spencer. You're trying to be hyper observant, and you learn how to do that at a young age, or you learn how to do that, high school, college, whatever. And I was trying to be more hyper analytical, and right before anything has been said, maybe you could catch a message, catch a theme of the movie or where it's gonna go. And you see that with a lot of movies, and especially this one. Again, you could question the color of the scenes and the way the characters look at one another, the camera that's either above the shoulder or below, and the way that the impression it gives of dominance or submissive in that setting of the character or what we're supposed to feel. It's just well made, especially in that time. It's like ahead of its time, actually. Aliens was ahead of its time, but this movie was hugely ahead of its time. But it needed to be made. It was made, and Jesus Christ, I love it. The villain having a split personality, and I saw this coming because I mean, it's been made. So this is another way of this is the first one, right? But the villain having a split personality, it just seemed to lead you on like it wasn't him at times, and he just seemed troubled. And it tried to give you like, hey, maybe it's not him, maybe it's the mom, but then we see it's not the mom. Spoilers, and it's just so done good. I love it. I love it. And I'm not gonna lie, but Joker, like the movie Joker, it takes so many aspects of like Psycho that people have overlooked, and I'm making that comparison because at the end well, in the beginning, but at the end also we see him being in a mental institution and him just laughing and then killing at the end. But when you think of your top movies, Joey mentioned Elm Street. He mentioned Freddy, right? I would have liked to mention Jason or Mike Myers, but no. I thought of something a little bit more closer. What do you mean closer? Well, I was born in 1996, right? And what's a horror movie that you could think of that came out that year? That's goddamn right. If you are thinking of Scream, you are on the money. Yes, this one is so damn good. I mean, again, you think of coloring in this movie, and already you think of the blue color. Blue comes to mind, and the movement of the camera following the character slowly, slowly, like a security camera, and then boom, the music hits, and the killer's on the rampage and kills a character. And setting everything up like that, taking its time, and starting it with just a phone call, bro. Again, I'm a criminal justice major, and I've studied how like a killer's minds kind of work. Killer's mind kind of works. There you go. And weapons they use, and the majority of the time that killers use a knife or a sharp object, something like they can hold on to, not a gun, but I'm saying like they can use as a melee weapon. You already know one, they're very close to them. It's a very internal relationship that they have, and it's either premeditated most of the time, and it doesn't really match up to like movies like in this case, it doesn't really match up to movies like Jason, Freddy, or Mike Myers. Kind of Freddy because of his background, and then he kills the end. He kills the kids of the adults that the parents because he couldn't take revenge at that time. Spoilers, but I mean Joey already mentioned it. But yeah, this movie. I mean, so this one is not my writing. This is something I found, a fun fact actually, and I needed to know because, like I said before, not all horror movies are actually based on real life, but this one is actually. Screenwriter Kevin Williamson was partly inspired by real life of series of students' murders in Gainesville, Florida, in 1990, perpetrated by killer Danny Harold Rowland, who was later dubbed the Gainesville Ripper. Williamson. Williamson was also inspired by John Carpenter's 1978 horror classic Halloween, and it's his favorite movie. That I did not know. That's actually interesting. I kind of want to read more about it, but I guess because it's based on a real life story, it's kind of partly the same. Um, I didn't know about that. It's actually really, really interesting. So, two fun facts that maybe you guys don't know, but Drew Barrymore actually did her own scenes. Did her own scenes. Obviously, did her scenes less than a week, and then finished right before production started. On top of that, did you know that the movie was actually supposed to be called Scary Movie instead of Scream? I mean, isn't that ironic? Well, now we know that the parody is more funnier. Yeah, there is an idea of Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I'm simply not there. Can you guess what movie I'm talking about here? Can you guess? Of course, it's American Psycho. Listen, this movie, man. I mean, it's an obvious different take on Psycho. In fact, it looks at the killer's mind, and we follow the killer everywhere. We are the killers. We are the killers. We are in the killer's mind. We see what he sees, or do we? See, in the end, we see a split personality. We see throughout the whole movie that there is a split personality, but this movie is. Oh, sorry. This movie is it's breathtaking in a different sense. I I think of the most horrific crimes, and I think of this movie. Jesus, I mean, you're thinking of a person that's privileged, luxurious, rich, in a way romantic, cocky, egotistical, psychotic, cool, slick, handsome, can move, not can move, but can get away with anything, basically. And then you see his other side. You see that he has so much pain, so much goddamn violent anger, frustration, jealousy, has to be the number one guy. The biggest egotistical bastard you could think of. And you boil it down to this man, Patrick Bateman. Jesus Christ. I mean, you think of something that does not let him. If he doesn't like anything, if he doesn't like one thing, you definitely gonna think that he's gonna kill it, that he's gonna rage on it. I mean, my guy, he killed the Joker. He killed the Joker. What does that? What does that have to say to you? I mean, when you think, oh my god, I think of what's that one, The Killing Joke, and then I think of this movie, and it's like it goes in between. It just goes. He does it. Batman kills him. Batman kills the Joker. But in all honesty, this movie is just. I actually would like to stream this with you guys and just. I don't know what else to say other than you need to watch this if you haven't. Again, this is not a horror. If you know where that's from, let me know, cause cause obviously I know. But horror movie, no, this is not one of those horror movies. This is just a thriller, psychotic movie. I think this is my type of horror movie. Is it weird to say that this is what I think horror movie is? Because it's not. I mean, you could think of like Insidious. You could think of Sinister. By the way, I love Sinister. I almost replaced it with Shaun of the Dead because I got scared. But I mean, you think of you see the generational gap between me and Joey. Generational, like he's fucking 50. No, but like you think of like my type of movies and his types of movies. Like he doesn't mind watching a scary movie. I do. I don't like it. I don't love watching it, but I don't mind it as long as somebody's there, especially my girlfriend. But like, I can't imagine liking the most I can't even watch a horror movie without knowing that I might have a nightmare at the end of the day. At the end of the night, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I need to watch something like YouTube and just make myself laugh. That I see. I watched Shaun of the Dead, I believe, at night. I want to say at night because I remember taking a nap after that, or a nap or going to sleep, and I can tell you I had nothing but a good night's sleep. I watched Sinister at night, and I didn't go to sleep until 3 o'clock in the morning. The movie ended at 10 o'clock. I didn't go to sleep at 3 o'clock because I got scared and I needed to watch something to ease my mind. And every time I was done watching a video, it came back to me, and I was like, no. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was like, okay, well, I can go to sleep now because I'm not thinking of anything. Oh, here it comes again. So I watched something and then I went to sleep because it took my mind off. But I can't tell you what it was because I don't remember what the hell I watched. I think it was like probably a stand up or maybe an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? If you remember what I was talking about, horror, that's where it's from. Yeah, pay attention. But yeah, I don't know. This is my top seven. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "This is not horror movies. What the hell is wrong with you? You need to stop." This is a horror movie, guys. This is a horror movie that I could Google this right now. This American Psycho is horror mystery. They're horror movies. You don't like them? Good day. I say good day. And with that, have a great day, guys. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Hey geeks, if you want to hear more from us, check us out on our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Subscribe, like, or follow on any of the social networks mentioned, or on Spotify, iTunes, and Stitcher. We love to do what we do and hope you enjoy what we do. Just remember, Geek Mythos Podcast.
There is an idea of Patrick Bateman, some feel of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory. And though I can hide my gold,